You're ahead of me.
Always.
Recording? Thank you to everybody in attendance at tonight's special council meeting. Now, I do need to clarify for the record that this meeting has been convened by me as Mayor, and in that role I also asked the General Manager and in some cases myself to contact councillors to see who was available to make sure we had a quorum so the meeting could go ahead. Having said that, I'd also like to note for the record there is an administrative error in the advertisement of the meeting, which referred to the meeting being a special ordinary meeting rather than a special meeting of council. Hopefully that clarity does provide some comfort to those who mistook or interpreted things differently than what was intended. Each of you have had access to an agenda where it's clearly articulated on the front cover that this is a special council meeting. It's convened under the Act, and we have 2 or 3 items on the agenda tonight which we will deal with, including the first item on the agenda, which is the apologies. And in that agenda item, we'll need a motion to grant an apology to Councillors Brown, Councillor Metzger and Councillor Martin. Do we have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Wicks as mover, Councillor Fiddler as seconder. All those in favour of granting an apology?
Aye.
Those against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Item 2, that should anybody have a pecuniary or conflict of interest, that you will have it advised the General Manager should that exist. And I'm assuming that each of you will have done that prior to the meeting as per normal process. The next item on our agenda is from the Corporate and Business Services Department. It is the agenda item relating to the audit panel membership, where we seek to appoint 2 members of council to the audit panel. And it is a result of the expiry of the term of the previous two members of the audit panel, Councillor Brown and Councillor Baldock. The information provided to councillors clearly outlines what's happened, and it's unfortunate that a audit panel meeting had to be delayed because the timeframes had expired for the members on that panel, council members on that panel. What I propose to do is to seek nominations, and I have canvassed those who aren't here and are able to provide information in relation to that. But first up, I'd like to seek nominations from the floor for membership of the Audit Committee before we put the motion, because the motion contains a number of recommendations, the first of which includes the names of the councillors to be appointed. So nominations from the floor, please. Councillor Fiddler.
Councillor Summer Metzger.
I'm assuming Summer's Councillor Metzger we have. Councillors, and you can self-nominate.
I'm happy to say that.
Councillor Baldock. Councillor Mead. I have a nomination from Councillor Martin. And I've been advised that Councillor Brown, who was previously on the committee, is happy to step aside for somebody with more financial expertise than he has, albeit he's more than happy to continue serving, but he certainly understands if there are members of council who have a priority around serving on that committee, that he's happy to step aside.
Well, if that's the case, I'm happy to nominate Councillor Brown to stand for this election.
He's happy to step aside. Okay, Councillor Brown. He's happy to do either. Okay. Any further? Councillor Sims not going to nominate? No? Okay, so we have 5 nominations then. What we have, and preemptive plan, we assumed there would be more than 2 nominations, sorry. So in front of you, you have a voting slip. Now, my understanding is that we will vote for the preferred nominees, each of us, and the you will tick a box against the person who you're voting for. The person with the most number of ticks will be first elected, and the person with the second most number of ticks will be second elected out of those nominated. Is that clear?
And then if there's an equal vote, well, then you'll go round again. That's some more about the papers just in case.
Okay, we can make those up. But before we do that, I need to make sure that we have scrutineers.
Yes, I might, through Mr. Mayor, I'd suggest Mrs. I was going to suggest. I was going to suggest Mrs. Phoebe and Mrs. Shaw, but if councillors wish to have Mr. Redgrave, then.
Independent, I have no issue.
Okay, let's go with Mrs. Phoebe and Mr. Redgrave. Thank you for offering. Jan, happy to do that work? Okay. So if that's the case, we'll work. If you grab your slip, tick your preferred nominees.
So it's just, you're just ticking
one box.
We'll tick 2 boxes and then we'll let it up.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 boxes. Yeah.
I understand why you would tick 2. That was my mistake, sorry. So it's two ticks. There's 2 positions, 2 ticks. Let's be clear.
Can you keep one of those in case you've got a copy?
Just to be really clear, the councillors' nominees are councillors Metzger, Baldock, Mead, Martin and Brown. Clear?
Yeah, tick 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone need them collecting, and I'll pass this one back to you if you want.
You just fold them so you can't indicate. So please just, fold them.
Thank you.
You have to job with the
Thank you.
Tasmanian Electoral Commission.
Thank you.
I might do that one day, actually.
And just shuffle them and then.
Yeah, we should have 6. 6, yeah. Wait with bated breath. Whilst that's happening, I do understand that this is a really busy time of year, and I appreciate the councillors making their time available tonight. And we'll discuss what's happening later with the workshop. But I do, as I say, acknowledge it is a really busy time and there are a lot of commitments for each of us. Yeah.
Is this meeting being recorded?
Yes.
Yeah. Will be. What's
I'll
that?
go on the website. It's an open meeting.
Yeah.
We need a second round for the second.
Okay.
We're going to take a minute to get.
For the record, we need.
Just doing quick ones here.
Can you
Some more.
Okay.
For the record, we need a second round of voting to determine the second nominee to the audit committee. Even though I assume there was a tie vote for a second, yeah. Scrutineers is nodding their head, so.
They're going to use these again. You have to take the names off.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Elaine, take a second to get some more.
We need to discount the other names.
Yes. Anyway, how it works, that's.
So I'm assuming this time it'll be 1 tick per person for the final position.
Either way.
Tick. And you'll be back in a second.
just got to do some copies?
Apologies for those listening online. I'd have some background music playing or something. But, unfortunately, that's not the case.
Thanks, Mrs. Phoebe. James can just modify the paper. Thanks.
Motion will need to be support need to be inclusive of that if that's applicable. Process. Do you want me? Oh, do I need to read out the nominees again?
You picked up your husband's record perhaps, but
Yeah. So again, it's
There you go.
that's highlighted.
Yeah, I don't think we need.
That's clear.
One tick.
If Mrs. Phoebe may explain just for the record what's now going to happen, thanks.
So, Councillor Mead was appointed for the first position, and then we need another vote to determine the second position.
So council, tick one.
Tick one, yes,
The-
of the two that are
Philip.
listed on the ballot.
Right.
Even shuffle.
Hello.
it's busy. I guess that's not going to start.
We'll have to go again.
Oh, really?
That's a tie.
I thought that was
So I asked the general manager, in the event of a tie, where do we go?
Well, normally you draw it out of the hat.
Oh, wow.
That's always been the.
The problem you have is
Sorry?
that these two are not here.
It's not a problem.
No, I'm just saying they could have negotiated which we did last time when you elected this committee.
In the old tradition, when it happened, yeah, if it's a draw, you draw it out or something.
Okay.
A question.
Yep.
What about the proxy?
I'm just about to go there.
Yeah.
So if it's appropriate and we do draw the number 2 nominee out of the hat, then I'd suggest to potential movers of the motion that they might include the third person as the nominee for the proxy position, although that would be open to any councillor. And it's up to the councillors here present to move a motion to include the proxy and who you'd like to include, but the mover will determine that, not me. So in terms of determining, Jan, if you could put the 2 names.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're the only one.
I happen to have one.
And I think we should have the other visitor.
Yeah, why not?
More than that.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, I
then.
think it's just
Yeah,
important it's seen as impartial.
Yep.
I go to the
Absolutely no problem with the
Agree.
executed.
Make sure the people know that.
I think so, yeah. Roxley?
Yeah.
What's so?
Yes.
I can only see his body, I can't see his face.
Yeah.
Mr. Birmingham.
Roxley, do you mind drawing a name out of the hat for us?
Privilege to draw the hat.
I can assure you there's no prize for you in it though.
Not even the stakes.
Up from good governance.
Yeah.
Any of them got to choose from?
2.
Choose one. Okay.
Hand that to Mrs. Phoebe if you wouldn't mind. Okay, the lucky person.
You can't.
Oh, I announce it.
Can you?
I get to draw it, so I'm the first person to know. Okay,
Right, so councillor Martin,
okay, so,
Mead and councillor Martin.
okay, so what we're going to need now is a motion from the floor in line with the recommendation that council appoint councillors Mead and Martin as members of the audit panel until the 31st of October 2026. And you can read these, I'm sure. The General Manager advised the Director of Local Government of these appointments, including the term of appointments as soon as practical. And 3, that, again, it's laid out there for you. The 4th item I'd ask you to include on a motion from the floor would be for the person moving the motion to nominate a proxy delegate for the same period as outlined in point 1 of the recommendation. So, councillors, I'd ask from the floor, do you have a mover or a motion to that effect?
Sure, I'm happy to move.
Councillor Wicks, you're moving a motion that councillors Mead and Martin be appointed as members of the audit panel, and in line with the recommendation, that is 2 and 3. Are you happy to add a 4th?
4th, that lists councillor Summer Metz as proxy for that committee.
Do we have a seconder for that motion?
The motion.
Councillor Sims and Councillor Wicks. I don't think there's any need for discussion, is there? Those who support the motion will do so, those that don't won't. Put the motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? The motion is carried, and I thank everybody, all those who nominated for the audit committee. I thank the members of the public who assisted with the process. Both thank you. I apologise to those online that it has been drawn out, but it is important that these processes are followed. And again, I thank the nominees and those successful that will now undertake that work on behalf of council moving forward. Having said that, I believe that's the final item on our agenda, and the meeting is now closed. Again, I thank you for the time, councillors. It is tough fitting everything in these days, particularly as we move into December, but thank you again. Those staying for the workshop,